You know, if it doesn't happen daily, it happens at least weekly that people ask me the question, should I get the Delonghi Dinamica Plus or should I get the Delonghi Magnifica Plus? And the short answer for me is get the Magnifica Plus. But is it so obvious? That's what we're going to take a look at in this video. Now, the reason that I recommend both these guys really is for the fact that they both do the Doppio Plus, which is a really nice espresso shot. What you're going to end up getting is actually 10 seconds of grinding, and that gets you one of these really big fat pucks, and that is awesome. That is the main reason that I like these two machines, and the reason that I was originally really positively impressed with the Dinamica Plus. However, this has kind of become an older model. The Dinamica Plus, they're still selling it. The Magnifica Plus is really a newer machine. We're going to take a look at how these two machines differentiate and also what they have in common in this video, and we'll also go ahead and make a drink or two. So beginning with the Dinamica Plus, the first thing you got to know is that this guy is made in Italy, and you should also know that in general it's a bit more expensive than the Magnifica Plus, which is made in Romania. Now the Dinamica Plus also has a few features which are maybe a little bit nicer. It's got a cup tray on top, which is made out of metal, so that's nice, better for heat transfer, and also it's recessed into the machine, and therefore your cups can't fall off. That is really nice. On the bean hopper, it's got a lid that's got a nice gasket on it. So nice rubber gasket to help keep your beans fresh a bit longer. And it's also got a power switch on the back. So you can turn it off and remove it from electricity just like that. And turn it back on. And that's kind of nice. On the other hand, on the Magnifica Plus, you've just got plastic here on the top, and I wouldn't really recommend putting stuff on there because it's not recessed. It could fall off pretty easily. On the bean hopper, the lid is just a piece of plastic. There is no gasket on there at all. And there is no power button. No central power button on there anyway to completely remove it from electricity. Another thing to consider is I got this Yeti tumbler right here. This is a 20-ounce tumbler or 591 milliliters, and it will just barely fit underneath the Dinamica Plus. It does not fit under the Magnifica Plus, so keep that in mind. I mean, it'll fit under slanted, but you're still going to have to kind of hold it and watch it, make sure it doesn't fall out. Something else to consider if you like really big drinks is that the milk carafe for the Magnifica Plus is significantly smaller than on the Dinamica Plus. On the Magnifica Plus, it only holds about 350 milliliters of milk. Whereas on the Dinamica Plus, this is also a nicer build. It's a double wall carafe, so that's nice. Should keep the milk colder longer, and it's got a higher capacity. You can fit half a liter in there. So there are definitely some advantages of the Dinamica Plus over the Magnifica Plus in regards to build and some features. Now what they have in common are several things really. I mean, the heart of the machine is the infuser or the brew group inside there that is exactly the same between the two. The grinder is also exactly the same. It's a 6-bladed stainless steel grinder, and the grind adjustment is the same on both as well. They got 14 grind adjustments. I keep mine right around between 3 and 4 depending on the freshness of the bean, maybe even 5 sometimes if I have a really fresh bean. Something else that they have in common is this flap up here. So this flap allows you to put some pre-ground coffee in there. You can put up to 15 grams in there. So if you want an afternoon decaf or if you want to try a different bean, you can toss that guy in there. That's very convenient. And that's something people often ask about. Yes, you can put pre-ground coffee in both of these. I would say, otherwise, build quality, I'm pretty happy with the build quality on both of them. Now, as I mentioned, these do both a Doppio Plus, which is my favorite drink. It's very nice, strong like to me, a real espresso, which is excellent. They both make really good milk texture, especially considering these are super automatics. So in that regard, they're also very similar in drink quality. Also, in regards to the number of drinks, they're pretty much the same too. You've got various drinks. You got the Doppio coffee crema, a 2 times espresso, hot water, espresso, cappuccino, latte macchiato, hot milk, a long, cappuccino plus, cappuccino mix, cafe latte, flat white, espresso macchiato, and coffee pot on the Dinamica Plus. Whereas you've got here, and you've got actually 2 macro buttons on the Magnifica Plus, which is cool. So you can choose between Doppio Plus, espresso, coffee, Americano, a coffee with ice cubes. Then you got 2 times espresso, the long, the Americano with ice cubes. And on the milk side, you've got latte macchiato, cappuccino, cappuccino mix, cafe latte, flat white, espresso macchiato, cortado, cappuccino plus, and hot milk. So as you can see, really the drink menus are very similar. Neither of these can do any kind of cold drinks. The drinks here with the ice cubes on them, they just tell you put ice cubes in the cup and then it pulls a hot espresso on top anyway, giving you a tepid drink. I really don't understand that feature. With all of that being said, I have just one more thing that I want to talk about, and then we're going to make some drinks. So what I really prefer on the Magnifica Plus is the screen. The screen is way better. It's a swiping screen, so it's actually got also a very good reaction rate, and yeah, it's smooth, it's nice to use. It's also got a pretty high resolution. On the Dinamica Plus, on the other hand, it's not a swipe screen. You have to use these buttons, these arrows on the bottom, to move between the menus, and the resolution is not nearly as good. So the Magnifica Plus, in my opinion, is easier on the eyes. All right, next let's make a Doppio Plus on both of these guys. All right, before we get started with the Doppio Plus, do me one favor, give the video a like if you're gaining any value, and also why don't you write hashtag Dinamica Plus or hashtag Magnifica Plus, depending on which one you think is better. And if you want, subscribe to the video, that way I know to make more videos like this one in the future. All right, let's go ahead and do the Doppio Plus, first on the Dinamica Plus, and I'm gonna stop it before it hits 80 milliliters, which is what it tries to aim for, but you can stop it early. I don't want my cup overflowing. Alrighty, there we got our Doppio Plus on the Dinamica Plus. And I believe what just happened there, by the way, is I think it only ground for 8 seconds. Now that is a problem I've had from time to time with the Dinamica Plus, that it doesn't grind the whole 10 seconds, and then I have to reset the grinder by grinding 5 times with no beans, and then I'll get some shots again with the 10 seconds, but then sometimes it reverts back to the 8. So that would be a negative point for the Dinamica Plus, that sometimes it doesn't do that full 10 seconds for whatever reason. But the Magnifica Plus does. Here we go, Doppio Plus. All right, so in this example, you can see there's a lot more crema there on the Magnifica Plus, in fact, and you could also hear it was straining just a little bit because it had packed such a big puck. So this, I have not had any problems with it stopping the grind ahead of time. In fact, it'll grind 10, 11 seconds each time, which results in a bigger puck, more intense drink. I'm using the same beans, by the way, for both of these. They are a fresh, locally roasted espresso bean, and I'm using similar grind settings. So I'm using 4 on the Dinamica Plus and 5 on the Magnifica Plus because this one consistently gives me actually a little bit more coffee. So let's just try these guys. Stir first. It's a good shot. It's balanced. It's got some sweetness to it on the Dinamica Plus. Pretty good. Magnifica Plus. Much more intensity to the shot. Of course, it's going to be more intense due to the fact that the puck is bigger. So that's a bit more to my liking because I like a really nice, strong espresso shot. Espresso double, really. Get nice notes of chocolate, some sweetness like almond. And for me, I'd prefer this guy. Let's move on to some milk drinks. All right, so for the milk drinks, I thought what we'd do is just pull some straight up milk to show you that you can just pull milk so you can make, for example, a hot cocoa. And you can also try to do a little bit of latte art, see if that's possible with these machines. Now they both have adjustable knobs on there so that you can set it for stiffer foam or thinner foam, or just like steamed milk. I got mine set just over halfway, and let's see what we get. I've also got a thermometer to see how hot does the milk get. I'm gonna measure in Celsius and put the Fahrenheit on the display as well. And in regards to the drinks, okay, there's all kinds of them. You know, there's cappuccino mix, flat white, latte macchiato. So you can just press one of those buttons and it will put, for example, espresso first into the cup and then milk afterwards. And I've got whole dedicated reviews to both of these machines so you can see that stuff if you like. But anyway, let's get started just with this comparison of the milk. I'm gonna start with the Dinamica Plus. And again, you can see that it's got a bigger milk carafe. So hot milk, go ahead. It's got to get up to a higher temperature first. So I read 55 Celsius, 56, 58. Okay. Stop it right there. Got up to about 59 degrees Celsius. And it's got quite a nice consistency there. Pretty glossy, maybe a little thick for latte art, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so we got there actually a pretty nice looking, I call it a cappuccino. And with the milk steamed well enough to actually pour something like latte art. Not bad at all. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the Magnifica Plus. All right, here we go, milk on the Magnifica Plus. Do it. $58, $59. $64. All right, in the case of the Magnifica Plus, it actually got hotter. It got all the way up to 64 degrees Celsius, so that is definitely a hotter drink. Let's see how this looks. But anyway, you can see the milk is really good. It's like shiny, It looks like it's supposed to. Might be a little thick. Let's just give it a shot. Not bad. So, as you can see there, we're able to even get a little bit of something like latte art out of a super automatic. What the heck? That's not supposed to be possible, but it is. Magnifica Plus, sick. So anyway, I think you can see why I prefer the Magnifica Plus over the Dinamica Plus. First of all, it's a newer model. It's a bit more modern. I think it looks sweet with this curved design. Screen is nice. It's a nice kind of swipe screen. It consistently makes me my Doppio with 10 seconds or 15 grams of coffee puck. Excellent. And you can even steam milk to make latte art with it. It's sweet. They're both nice machines, but I definitely prefer the Magnifica Plus. And if you consider that this guy is normally a bit cheaper than the Dinamica Plus, to me it's no-brainer. With all that being said, let me know, guys, what do you think about these two machines? Which one is the best? And until next time, I say happy coffee drinking and happy cappuccino drinking. Bye now.